And what we're seeing is that one of the biggest problems is only about 30% of marketers feel that they have the strong core data foundation in order to actually effectively use AI and agents. If your data is not great, your AI and the effective use of it is not going to be great either.
Bad in, bad out.
Yeah, exactly. It's the old adage. We've been saying it forever. And if you're as a data scientist previously, garbage in, garbage out, it still applies. Whether it's a human who's doing it in the loop and doing the analysis, or if it's an AI doing the analysis.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Ad Podcast. We have Zach Bricker, who is head of data and solutions engineering at Supermetrics, here to tell us a little bit about what he's up to at Shop Talk and what his company does. Zach, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, let's go. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me about Supermetrics and what brings you guys to Shop Talk this year.
Absolutely. So I'll start with Supermetrics. We're a marketing data pipeline and also recently into data activation space. So we really help companies bring all of their marketing data into one source and then, obviously make sense of it. One of the biggest things that everyone wants to talk about is AI. So we consider ourselves an AI native company. We use it throughout all levels, and we're enabling all of our individuals, but also all of the marketers and C-suite on it as well. So we're heavy into the space, and as far as where I come from, I was a data scientist for 6 years, working for a consultancy that was owned by a marketing agency. And I kind of wound up in this space. I'm not exactly sure how. It was just through a couple meetings. Actually, that's not true. I at one point was looking to build a product. I built out all of our ETL processes, and then my boss said, "You're spending too much time doing that. Find a solution." I was going to choose Supermetrics, and I found out they're a Finnish-based company, and they had a thing that no shoes in the office, which is a very Finnish thing apparently.
Let's go.
And I was like, yeah, I hate shoes. Let me go to Finland. Like, this sounds great. And I ended up here. It's fantastic.
That's a good cultural reason. The no shoes office. I like it. Awesome. So when you talk about kind of data marketing uniformity, what types of data are we talking about? Are we talking about advertising data, personalization data, customer data, a little bit of everything?
Yeah, absolutely. So our core business is really around all the performance data that you would kind of expect, as well as organic and all the social data, right? In addition to that, we also will work on first-party data, as well as we've recently acquired a company. So we work with a CDP now where we can, bring in data from your website and personalize it. We also work with some other companies as well in order to get that sort of full golden profile or customer 360, so that you can really drill down all the way from, hey, here are my basic campaign stats and ROAS stats that everybody wants to see, all the way down to, what are individuals doing, whether that's on an identity resolution area or if it's just anonymous stitching of profiles together. So we sort of cover the whole gamut now.
I love it. So big trend at Shop Talk and in the industry in general is Agentic. Everything needs to be AI last year, and now everything needs to be Agentic this year.
Oh yeah.
But there is some value in data ecosystems being able to talk to your data, as they say.
Yeah.
So do you guys have that type of a solution where a marketer can ask very specific questions to their data and come back with insights and actionable things that they can do, parceling and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the really interesting things around the evolution of AI into agents and everything is it's all driven by a core data foundation, right? So if you were at Google Cloud Next last year, there was a talk that we gave on stage with Looker and AI, the conversational analytics going in there. And the director of Google at the time made a mention that after one join on data, it was the AI and the LLMs at the time were only 50% accurate. Now that's probably a little bit better now, as everything is still scaling up.
Sticking to the left on accuracy and use case.
Exactly, but at the core of it is, you really need strong data foundations. And what we see, we initially put out a marketing data report last year. We have one again this year that we recently released in February. And what we're seeing is that one of the biggest problems is only about 30% of marketers feel that they have the strong core data foundation in order to actually effectively use AI and agents.
Interesting.
So, and that's a huge problem in the space, right? If your data is not great, your AI and the effective use of it is not going to be great either.
Bad in, bad out.
Yeah, exactly. It's the old adage, we've been saying it forever, and if you're as a data scientist previously, garbage in, garbage out, it still applies, whether it's a human who's doing it in the loop and doing the analysis, or if it's an AI doing the analysis, you have to have that base layer. And so as far as our agentic things go, we do have ones that can hook up into your stack, whether that happens to be, I want to talk to it on the fly, where we'll go out and live query data, and you can do that in our platform right now and build a dashboard and say, hey, here's my current marketing statistics, here's my information. Or whether you want to roll your own or bring your own, we believe in meeting people where they are. So if you want to use Claude or Copilot or OpenAI or Gemini Enterprise Pro, we have an MCP that uses agents on the back end so that you can have that same level of power and value that you see in platform, out of platform as well, if that's your preferred place to work.
Yeah, interesting. I think another kind of buzzword that I'm hearing in Shop Talk this week is the idea of being data ready.
Data ready, yeah. No.
So is that a lot of what you guys are focusing on as far as that idea of like having clean data, accurate data? Is that what you would surmise as data readiness?
Yeah, in a way. So in the data science world, there was always this thing about being data driven, and then there's data informed, and now we're talking about data ready. And it all really boils down to, is your data clean and organized? And it's data readiness has been the same thing it's been since before I was in the workforce, is if you want to actually have any kind of analysis that is good, it has to be clean, it has to be uniform, you have to be able to understand it at a glance. And it's really the same thing, just repackaged as now data ready. Yeah. And it's not enough, I think data driven is great, but really data informed is what we should strive for, because there still needs to be a human in the loop, right? Our subject matter expertise is still very valuable and cannot yet be supplemented entirely with AI. So totally to your point on data readiness, absolutely, it's something that we talk about with core data foundation principles, but at the same time, it is something that if you don't have now, you should, but also you should have had it 10 years ago.
So data readiness is just a buzzword that consultants use to sell projects, is that what you're telling me?
As a former consultant, I can neither confirm nor deny the amount of buzzwords and jargon that we create in order to sell you what you need, but at the same time, it's the same thing with meeting people where they are. A lot of people communicate through buzzwords. There's value in that kind of conversation, that kind of jargon being spoken. If they understand it as data readiness or data informed or data driven or clean data, whatever it happens to be, as much as it is something, obviously from my background, data is a bit of a passion for me, and I want everybody to be able to actually utilize it and be effective at whatever they do, whether it's marketing or whether you're just some nerd in a basement like myself, like trying to play Dungeons and Dragons and min-max your character. It doesn't matter. Like, I want you to be able to organize it and have a good experience with your data so you can learn something.
I love that. All right, so let's talk about Shop Talk. What brought you guys to Shop Talk this year, and with the sea of activity going on, what are you guys doing to stand out and gain attention and get in front of the right people?
Yeah, so last year was our first time at a Shop Talk event. We did Shop Talk Chicago, and we just went to take the meetings. And we saw a lot of good responses from that. It was really interesting. We got a lot of great leads, and it was just an all-around really good experience, be able to actually, in this day of remote everything, trial our pitches and trial, how we talk to clients in person again. And so it was really interesting. We all followed up with doing grocery shop here. So I was here about, I think it was like September, to do grocery shop because we're moving into the retail media space. We learned a lot from that. And those were both successful, just attendees. And so this time we decided to set up a booth.
Nice.
So we're over by the Criteo booth at 4350 if anybody wants to stop by. As far as standing out, I think we are the only ones. A lot of people have baristas, which I thank them for. No offense, conference hall coffee, not the best. But we have, you can stop by, get a massage we have a masseuse over there. We also have tea all day.
I love language. Massages. I might be stopping by myself.
You're very welcome. But we also have tea over there, so it's more of a relaxing environment, right? As everything is very busy, it's very go at Shop Talk. You're on from 7 a.m. until whenever you decide to go to bed in the evening. It's nice to stop by, hang out, grab a tea, maybe a massage, and just take a relax. So that's like maybe how we're standing out there, but also I think just the conversations that we're having and we're willing to have and what we're going through is something that helps us stand out as well. We'll sit there and talk to you about your data foundations, give you architecture recommendations if you want to get deep, roll a demo out for you on whatever it happens to be that you're interested in, and that's sort of what we're doing right now.
I love it. Any thought leadership for you this week? Are you doing any talks?
Not any talks here. I am doing a lot of talks with individuals. We're doing a lot of podcasts, interviews.
Press hits, things like that.
Exactly. I do have a webinar coming up on the 31st with our director. Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be on our marketing data activation. That'll be on the 31st if you want to check that out.
Cool. Are you having any time to go and sit in on any panels or keynotes? Anything that is exciting you, or speakers that you want to hear about, or stuff that you've heard so far that you're going to take back to the team?
So far, I have been booked solid. So that is probably my one regret. I'm going to try and see. There are a few I've been looking at this afternoon that I'm going to try and squeeze in, but unfortunately, I'm lacking in that department, as I don't have anything to recommend or anything I can point to that I'm looking forward to right now, unfortunately.
All good. All right, Zach, if folks at home want to connect with you guys or follow your thinking, where would you like to send people?
Absolutely. So you can go to our company website, supermetrics.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Zach-Bricker, or Zach Bricker. You'll see me there with a very fancy shirt on. And come check us out. There's our marketing data report will be available on the Supermetrics page as well. We have a press release and everything around it. Always happy to hear from you as well. Stop by the booth if you're already here at 4350. Give us a shout.
Let's go. Thanks,
awesome.
brother.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Dylan. Really appreciate it.